Well, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. How are you? Hey, 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 Friday, TGIF, ring the bell of purpose. I don't know about you, but I am happy that it's Friday and I've seen enough rain in my life. I am not kidding. I need some sunshine on a cloudy day. Welcome to Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host today. Oh, wait, every day, Monday through Friday, right here at 8 a.m. Somehow you found your way in through the front door. Now you're in here. Let's get started. Help me welcome to the show, won't you? My sidekick, my best gal. She's just about my everything. Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. What do we drink? Oh, we're drinking the last of some toasted caramel. Now, you know my theory on this. The bags smell like it, but they never taste like what they say they're going to. Except that god awful, don't ever buy warm apple cider coffee. Brian gave me that in my stocking for Christmas. And I was like, what would make you think warm apple cider and coffee would blend? It was the whole, I threw it away just a couple weeks ago. He thinks I drank it. Anyway, welcome to the show. We are streaming live on the following platforms: Roku, Facebook, YouTube, Android, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and of course, from our home base out in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, E360 Live. And I'm tipping my hat this morning, ringing the bell to my wonderful sponsors. This week, it's symposium.us, where if you go over to the Google App Store or the App Store and download the app, yep, that's what you do. Go over there. You will find that you can turn your cell phone into what? That's right, a payphone. Lots of opportunities to turn your content into cash. Your currency will be everywhere if you get over there and just share with the world those things you're good at. Right now is a great time. I happen to be Symposium's top earner. And how did I do that? I just shared the things I love, the things I'm passionate about. And I've done that over 25 times over there. It's very easy and they're very supportive. So get over and check out symposium.us and share with the world what you're great at. So the Bell of Purpose is here. It's new to season 4. And what it means is it's your opportunity when you hear it ring to be a part of something greater than yourself. We all have an innate desire to be a part of something greater than ourselves. It also means that one of our guests today, and we have, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at them in the green room through the crystal ball located to my immediate right. They don't know I'm watching them, so. Ooh, Cheristan, if you don't put that vase back, I'm just kidding. You know, it would be actually opposite if I was in her house. Anyway, this bell is so when you hear something really wonderful come out of one of the guests' mouths or something you can get behind, you go, you know what? I like that. I like what he or she said. And you know how we do it up in here. Can I get an amen? That's your chance to put some love on the screen in the form of hearts or invite somebody to join in with us, share it out, start a watch party, or maybe just invite a friend or two. Can you do that? It's not going to kill you. Thank you. So today I wanted to change things up a little bit. You all know, or a lot of you might know, that before I became what I do in here and no one knows what to call me, I spent 26 years as an event planner. That's right. I had a firm called Events by Design in Michigan and had about 17 people that worked with me, and most of them were family. Fired them all at one point or another, but we're still in love with each other. But it was a great, great ride. And, you know, we're heading into June 1st is when? Coming up. When is June 1st? June 1st is Monday. Okay. So everybody wants to be a June bride, all the brides. May, June, July, August, September. No events for, as far as I know. What has happened in the event? $1 billion industry. What's happened? I found a little something to get us started. It's going to take a couple minutes. I might not even play the whole thing. I kind of thought it was boring, but it was all I could find. They're talking about trade shows and stuff all over the internet, but not too much about what we're going to talk about today. So that's why I'm glad that we have that. Take a look at this. Oh, I want to make her bigger.
Closings extend past 40 days in Washington. Many of us have had to deal with canceled events. It's inconvenient, but for event planners and nonprofits who rely on the money those events bring in, it can be devastating. 4 News Now reporter Katerina Christofis shares how they're getting creative on that path forward.
Oh. There are usually tons of events happening across the inland Northwest, especially as the weather starts to warm up. But now it's the opposite. It's left many event planners wondering when they'll be able to get back to work. When the sun starts to come out.
Especially just because we live in the Northwest. we want to be outside.
The events happening in our area typically start piling up.
Everybody kind of jam packs everything into, I would kind of say probably like April through even October.
Then the coronavirus happened, and suddenly plans changed.
We were all hopeful in the beginning that it would, if we did the first 4 weeks, everything would blow over, it would be fine, we'd go back to normal. And just slowly, everybody's kind of realizing that that isn't going to be the case.
Haley Leidig is one of those people. As an event planner, she says the past few weeks have been tough financially.
I've probably lost a third of my income so far.
Still, she considers herself one of the lucky ones. As an event planner who works with a lot of nonprofits, her situation is a little different.
They rely on the income that our events and our fundraisers bring.
Meaning they've been forced to get creative. Girls on the Run, a nonprofit that focuses on empowering.
Okay, I just want to say, because I think they're a little bit boring, and I just want to get my guests in here because I'm itching to talk to them. And I was actually forgot I was on the show while she was talking just now. So I told you it was boring. Anyway, I have 4 of Chicago's top event gurus, all specific industries, all good friends, or at least they pretended to be a few minutes ago in the green room. Oh my God. Chera, if you don't put that ashtray down, I'm just kidding. Let me get them in here. People are going to think I'm painting Chera as a kleptomaniac. Lord, huh? I'm just kidding. I had to pick on you because you're my bestie. Hi, good morning to you all.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Juliana, I see you found something to drink. Yay. Juliana didn't have her coffee, so I thought she was an alien. Welcome, everybody. What I'd like to do, because, I'm going to get that thing off the screen. I want you guys to just go around the screen and say who you are and what organization you're affiliated with. And if you could, if you don't mind, throw in how long you've been doing what you do. Juliana,
Sure.
let's start with you.
Sure. So my name is Juliana Barrientos.
Oh.
I am Colombian, and I own Cocina Fusión. It's a catering company in Chicago, along with my husband. And we have been open. This is going to be our 12th year.
12th year. What's the name mean?
Cocina Fusión is like a fusion of kitchens. So cocina is kitchen in Spanish. So fusion of flavors. That's what it means.
Okay, awesome. And do you have what's the flair of your food? Is it Colombian? Is it Spanish in nature?
My husband is Mexican. He has a lot of Argentinian background in the food that we make in our menu. So it is a lot of Latin inspired flavors. Not necessarily Mexican, not necessarily
Okay,
Colombian.
just Latin, because that covers a lot of territory.
Correct.
Okay, good. And we love some Latin food. Okay, and that's why I own Stock and Tums, by the way. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. No, it's really Thai food that does that to me, not Spanish food. But you know what? I will say Spanish food is the #1 food that my husband and I crave.
Okay.
I mean, when we say we gotta have it, nothing stops us. Nothing. So I'm looking forward to trying some of your wonderful dishes. And then you have, who's this lady here next to you? Chera Stan, owner of the Stan Mansion, where a lot of you have been there because you know my bigger events when I do them in Chicago, that's the place I head to. I haven't done anything anywhere else except for one little country club gig, and that was because it was just for 50 people. But the Stan Mansion, Chera Stan, thanks so much for joining us today. Tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Good morning. We are planning and getting ready for hopefully very soon to open special events. So we are doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it because I really thought you'd be crying tears of something. Because let's wait a second because I have a trivia thing here that I want to see how close I was. But first, we can't. I almost said the only male on the panel, but I'm here. Hi, Philip. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm awesome. And what kind of shoes are you wearing?
I actually do not have shoes on.
See, that's the good thing about Zoom. I don't even have pants or nothing on.
I
So
wasn't go that far.
I'm kidding. I have shorts on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But don't act like you all haven't done that. Been on a Zoom call and just from the waist up, right? Uh-huh. So I said that because I met Philip, I think once, maybe twice, and he is known for, in my world, for his great shoes. He claims to remember nothing about that, and that tells you how great they are. But Philip, what do you do and who do you do it with and how long have you been doing it?
So I work with Juliet Tan Floral Design. We are a floral design firm, and I have been there about 6 years. So I do everything operationally, and I actually design as well.
You know, I remember when I was looking for a florist for one of my events, I remember seeing that site and I looked at it and I was like, nope, I know I can't afford them. I mean,
never be fooled by that.
The stuff was the designs were just out of this world, the ones I saw. And we were working with, it was actually for my wedding is what we were looking for. And I'm actually, Brian pulled that one up because that's a pretty famous name, Tan.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So, okay, well, we'll get back to you and find out what's going on. And last but definitely not least, we have Miss Deborah. Deborah, and I've worked with you. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And how long have you been doing it?
I'm with Art of Imagination, and I'm the owner, and I've been doing it for 23 years. Can't believe it, this July.
Wow,
and
congratulations.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And now we're in this new path, this new journey, and it's opened up a whole totally different way of looking in our industry. And actually coming up with some different ideas of how to guide and how to kind of help during this process and for future too.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Well, I'm so grateful to all of you to come on here because we are heading into the warmer weather and people want to know what to do. I'm curious about what we all know about the cancellations. We've either been told, no, don't come, not going to be a wedding, or don't come, and I've had my own gigs canceled all the way through September. So I know and I feel it. We all feel it where it hurts in our pocketbooks. But I had kind of made a list of who I thought out of the group here from the hardest hit down to the softest. And I just want to find out if I'm even close. I would think that the person that would feel this pandemic the most would most likely be you, Chera. And then after that, I said Art of Imagination, Deborah. I thought it would be you next. And this means getting no calls up to being able to do something. So I'm thinking, Deborah, you might have been able to do some drop-offs, but probably not too much, enough to pay the bills. And Chera, you're just walking around a ghost building, pretty much, I would think. I could be wrong. And then I thought third would probably be you, Juliana. Maybe you could still do some stuff for people that are, I don't know, have 100 people in their house or something, somebody with like 16 kids, but no. Or I know a lot of people are ordering food to send to first responders and things like that. So I thought maybe you'd get some work for that. And then finally, floral, you guys, Philip, I thought, because there are funerals and things like that and, other things. But as far as not coming to a complete standstill, I think, Philip, you're on the bottom and Chera, you're on the top. So I'm going to let you guys talk about it. Here's a question from a viewer that I think will kick this off nicely. It's a big question too. Tea Leaves Parker says, here in Georgia, never mind. I'm not going to do that. She hates when I go into a Georgia dialect. She says I do it all wrong. Here in Georgia, there was something on the radio about people wanting their money back for events, mostly weddings. A lot of businesses aren't giving money paid for weddings. Kind of a crazy situation. So you guys, let's open the door with that. Start with Chera. Let's go to you first because weddings, Stan Manchin, I think, does more weddings than anybody in Chicago. Seriously, outside of the museums and that sort of thing. So talk about that. Did you have to refund a lot of money?
Fortunately not. We didn't have to refund anything because all our brides are very understanding. We postponed to the end of August, and we plan on doing their wedding next year. So no refunds, and we are busy actually. So
Uh-huh.
the phones are ringing. We do virtual tours. People are planning, and this is the best time to plan because what are you gonna do? You're gonna stay home, do nothing, right? So pick
Right.
up the phone, call some vendors. We offer great promotion right now, so we are very much alive. So yeah.
Well, I kind of know why people aren't canceling because I remember I tried to cancel once with you, and you were just standing there. Okay, no problem. You sure you want to do that, Loren? You sure you want to cancel? I'm gonna ask you one more time. You sure? And I was like, now that I think about it, I don't want to cancel. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I gotta quit picking on you today. So let me ask you this question, Chera, to you. Okay, that sound I'm hearing, Deborah. Don't worry, I'm gonna unmute you when we come to you, Chera. What about people booking? Are people a little tenuous? They don't know, should I not? What if it's not open? Or are they diving in with the contingency? If we can't do this, will you move it to another date or can we work this out? What are they asking? What kind of questions are people asking?
We are booking. We booked 6 events this month, to my surprise, and yes, they do ask what's going to happen if this is going to happen again. So, are we getting our money back? No, but we will postpone. So, we try at this time. We try to hold everybody's hand.
Mm-hmm.
But we did that before too. But now
yes, you did.
Harder,
That's one thing. That's one thing about you guys at the Stan Mansion. Honestly, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that in the midst of a pandemic, you guys make it work. Your team are, I think they're artificial intelligence. I actually don't think they're real, living, breathing people, but they look like it. So that's all that matters in my book. I mean, you really do. You have a great team, and where if one's not there, there are two others that can do it the same or better. It's just a wonderful thing you have going there. But can I ask you this, and then we're going to go on around the group. But what about, do you have rules? Have you come up with anything about if I wanted to have something at your facility as far as social distancing? Could we still, because I think you can do what, as of today, 50 people or less? No, not 50.
10.
It's still 10?
It's 10 for now, yeah.
Even in phase 3?
It hasn't started. It's going to start in Chicago. Phase 3 is going to start in June 3rd.
Oh, okay.
And next week on Wednesday. And we're going to start with 10 people. And that includes guests and vendors.
Wow. So I'm going to go over to you, Juliana, next, because, we've been seeing a lot of stuff in the press on the news where they're allowing restaurants to use portions of their parking lots and whatnot to cordon off to have outdoor seating so that they can have more foot traffic and that sort of thing. And for the liveliness that they want in the city. How is that affecting what you're able to do? Are you going to do a pop-up thing, or what are you guys doing to keep your business viable?
Yeah, so we are not a restaurant, so we're strictly caterers, and most of our income came from weddings. So what we did through this month is we started doing drop-offs. So we created a menu every week, and we promoted it on social media, and a lot of people purchased it. We delivered it. So my husband is a chef. He was one delivery person. I was another delivery person, and our kitchen assistant was another delivery person.
Okay.
So people were not going out. They were not, restaurants were closed. So we were able to create some income at that point. We also did some meals for hospital workers. And so we partnered with a school where they purchase family meals weekly to donate for families in need.
Yeah.
So with our meals that we sold, there was an option to provide a portion of that paid meal for a family in need as well. So we worked with the community, we supported the community, and we gave jobs to the kitchen staff that otherwise will have been home. But now with restaurants opening, we don't really have a front, a storefront for our we're not a restaurant, so we only have a kitchen. So that's really not going to help us, I think,
Right. It actually might. it might take a little business from you.
Yeah. So that's why
Hmm.
we're not doing it weekly anymore. We are thinking maybe every other week because people are going to start going out. People are anxious to enjoy the weather.
Right.
You know, some people are in fear and they are not ready to go out.
Here's one. I'm not.
Yeah.
I told my
So,
husband, we're going to keep up our same stuff with social distancing, wearing our masks, wearing our gloves, and then we're going to wait and see what happens to all the people that go running into the fire. Because I'm old. I'm 57. I'm not trying to go out like that. I'm just saying. Well, you know, I mean, how do we know? We've never lived it.
no,
You know,
we don't know.
hence the term novel. Never been here. So I get it, but it is a personal choice. I do want to ask you one other thing, though. Can you speak a little bit really quickly, and we'll keep moving, about prices? I've heard even the manager at my grocery store told me a couple weeks ago, Loren, if you guys eat meat, stock up now because the prices are going to go. And friends that I know have restaurants here in Naperville have talked about the beef price went up $3-4. How does that affect you guys? Because you can't buy stuff in bulk like you ordinarily would, knowing that it's going to go out the door. It's almost like you got to go shop for stuff just for each thing.
Correct. So that's a difference between catering and a restaurant. A restaurant will have a stock of, you know, ingredients for whatever they have on the menu. I only go and buy depending on the orders I have. So and that happened to us. I put up this taco meal for X amount of price, you know, based on the steak price of Monday. And lo and behold, by Friday, it went from $2.99 to $7.99.
Wow.
The steak. So at that point, I could not change pricing. You know, I cannot say, hey, you know, the steak went up, your meal goes more. We just had to eat it. So it is very hard.
Nice one. I'm sure you did.
Yeah. So every time is like before it happens, it's like, okay, go and check the price of pork, go and check the price of chicken to make sure that in case it goes up, we will make a little bit of money.
Right. Because you could, if you don't, you could end up losing.
Correct.
And who can afford to do that in this day and age? Right. Thanks, Juliana. Philip, now you're in the floral business. And you know, I have a special coming up in about a week and a half with 4 morticians around the country talking about, you know, what's happened in their industry. And I know that the amount of flowers and things for funerals and things like that, memorials and things like that has been limited. You know, I've talked to some people that have gone to different things, and you know, a lot of the car funerals, you know, the car thing where they sit in the car and they say there was only one thing of flowers, one spray or something like that. And with the wedding faction cut out and all the others, what are you guys doing to keep? Do you guys have a shop? I figure you probably have a storefront.
So we have a storefront and we have a warehouse.
And you have a warehouse.
We are not a retail florist. We're a special event florist, so we do not typically do retail.
Okay.
However, with the onset of this virus, you know, we started to obviously turn our thinking into, you know, what could we do differently? And we did do some online retail for the first time.
Okay.
And, you know, to speak to what you were saying as far as limitation of flowers, that is the case. You know, we were called by our wholesalers immediately and told that, you know, the selection process would be a little different. There's not going to be a lot of specialty type of flowers. It's going to be very basic. And, you know, you just work with what you have. You're a designer, you create and you make it look, you know, as fabulous as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that word was coming out in this show today. I should have had a contest going for hey, that'd be a great drinking game if you guys want to come tomorrow night. Every time somebody says fabulous, we have to drink. Oh, never mind. Never mind. So let me ask you this, because here's another thing, Philip. If you notice in the grocery stores, this was something I noticed about 4 weeks ago, that I kept seeing little signs on empty spots on the shelves. And I was like, why are people hoarding? I would needed sweeper pads for my kitchen thing, and there were none there. And so I asked the manager, I go straight to the top. I was like, how come there's no sweeper pads? I said, are people hoarding those? He goes, no. Manufacturers, look around the store. There's a lot of things that are missing because the manufacturers didn't have people there to make them, and they run out of the surplus. Is that do you feel that in the floral industry, as far as, I mean, because you have people that have to deliver, people in greenhouses. So if people have been laid off, it would make sense that there's less product, less stock available. And I think that's pretty much the case for all of you, maybe with the exception of Chera. Philip,
So
and
I
prices, talk about prices. Have prices gone up because of this thing with you guys?
Yes, they have. Yes, they have in our world, because it's difficult, to ship and to receive. So obviously pricing goes up a little bit. But to speak to the retail part of it in the stores, I have a retail background, so I keep my eye on things like you were talking about empty shelves, and I noticed that when I would grocery shop, I'd always look in the floral department, and they were just full and lush and packed. So that was an opportunity this has been an opportunity for retailers, in a great sense. I have some friends that have retail shops, and they're doing quite well with their already established business. So
well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And you know what? In the grocery store, you're absolutely right. And this is a weird thing for me at the beginning, on the front end of the virus showing up. People were afraid of flowers. I remember people were like, don't have the flowers delivered, whatever you do, and I was like, why? Is it something, is it a carrier? And then I noticed in my grocery store, flowers, they had extra carts of flowers, 50% off. Like, people were afraid to buy them. And I mean, there are flowers everywhere in Jewel. Shameless plug. Yes, for Jewel. So I'm gonna be down there to get my free stuff. There it is. Shameless plug.
There it
is. But okay, thank you for that. We'll come back to you now. Deborah, you do all the draping and lighting and all those things that make the event or whatever it is feel magical. And I know that to be true because you've done it for me. And I thank you again. I haven't seen you since then. Those guys that you sent to hang my stuff, the drapes and the X and all that for the impactor, they were fabulous. Really, they were. They knew what they were doing. They had great eyes. How has this affected you? Oh, wait, let me unmute you. That's right. Okay, there you go.
Similar to what Sarah said, we are very lucky. We've had just all of our weddings. It was 120 to date that have rescheduled for next year. So everything in that aspect has worked out. I think more of it is a challenge for twofold. One is for when we are talking with the clients, and mostly it's the bride. Usually the first 15 minutes of the conversation is just like talking with them, guiding them, letting them know we're going to be there for them. Because that's one of the questions that comes up with about the vendors they have.
Hi, honey.
Are they still going to be there? And it actually has been working out really, really well. And as Sarah also mentioned too, we've actually been getting a lot of new calls in, because not only are the rescheduled dates of new dates of 2021 are being taken by brides postponing, but other brides want to have their wedding too. So you'll see that weddings now will be on Fridays, Sundays, and even Thursdays. And that's something that's going to be changing a lot for 2021 and 2022. You are going to see special weddings during the week and on Sunday, so off days. So
don't be surprised if I get a save the date for Tuesday at 12:15 p.m. I'm like, what? Casual attire, Okay, so interesting. And I hadn't thought about that. In order to make room for all the ones that are being pushed now, what about the ones who were already? So again, brides, it pays to be 2 years in front of it, because you know what, right? You would have had your stuff already locked down before these 2020 girls and guys come over trying to bump you out of the way. Let me ask you this. Have any of you had someone who goes, oh, no, I must have that date, I'll pay double?
No.
Trying to get, none of that? Okay, here's the one. This is what I really would like to go to next. How, from a show of hands, if you could just raise your hand, has this pandemic forced any of you to rethink how the model for your business? And even when we're on the other side of this pandemic, have you learned or implemented something now that you're going to keep post-pandemic? Anybody? Okay, Deborah, Juliana. Philip, I'm surprised. I thought your hand was going to go up. Oh, it did go up. Oh, okay. All right. And Cherry, did your hand go up too? So across the board, you guys have all picked up something. So why don't we start with you, Juliana? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
And tell us what that is and why. Because a lot of companies, the reason I brought this up is because I've been hearing that all across the board, even in in Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies that have had to scale back because of the obvious. A lot of them are going, well, I didn't know that was going to work so well. I don't even need to go back to the way things were. Hence the term that I think we're going to become more and more familiar with, and I speak of the new normal. So, Juliana, what's the new normal look like for you, and how did you come to that decision?
So definitely doing drop-offs. I was always like very afraid of doing drop-off. I'm like, no, you need a chef and you need a server and you need this, and the menu doesn't work without them. And I had the time to create a menu that works for drop-off. I have the time to see how I can package it and make it, last. So that's definitely changing. All these years I've been saying, we need to do more corporate, we need to do more lunches. Guess what? This is the time, because weddings are not going to be happening most likely for 2020 on the big scale. And that's where we make our money. We charge per guest. So a 10 guest wedding is really nothing for me. So that drop off thing, it's going to be the new thing for Cocina Fusion.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Shara, what about you?
Well, we decided that we're going to start promoting small weddings. So with the help of Juliana, Philip, and Deborah, today we are finishing the decor for a small wedding. So we did a setup for 26 people with linens and fabric and lighting and draping and beautiful china and all that. So this way, when people are coming to see the venue, because they did start coming to see in person or even virtually, they will get a chance to see how the humongous room, the grand ballroom of Stan Mansion will look with 26 sittings. And it looks fabulous. I'll do a video later today. And
that's awesome.
Get to see it, So elopements, small weddings. Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to start doing them all.
Wonderful. Philip, how about you?
So, naturally we're all in a creative industry. So you think of creative ways to be able to express yourself and to run your business and to take care of your employees, but most important, your clients. And we've had to look at our business plan and do a couple of things. And like Sarah was saying, we looked at what's going on now and what are the legal ramifications of operating and, working within those scopes. So we've had to look at doing small weddings, as well. And in the past, some things that we're doing different, we've been asked by some partners to do sort of like packaging, pricing, lumping sort of things together like bouquets or, ceremony pieces or things of that nature. And we've sort of shied away from it in the past because, it's such a creative opportunity for the bride and the groom or the grooms or the brides or whomever that you're sitting with to design at the moment when you're meeting with them. In this case, we have put together packaging options to sort of deal with what's going on. Very, very small things like a bouquet and a boutonniere and an altarpiece. And, that's it.
That's it.
And then if they'd like other options, we're more than happy to explore and discuss that. And we've also, we've also pushed probably 90% of our weddings into the next year. So we're looking at how we're going to operate differently, as far as cost and efficiency to be able to deliver the best product.
Okay. And Miss Deborah? There you go. I unmuted you. Did she freeze? Oh, there you
I'm
are.
right here.
Okay, so what about you, Deborah?
Actually, for my aspect with the production and the decor, people are still going to have to create an environment. And so that part hasn't been affected. But what really is going to be challenging, and just like everyone else said, especially for Sarah, that within the venue, if you're only going to have 25 people, 50 people max, how can we create a more intimate environment within the larger space to feel like that it was meant to be just for your wedding? So we're actually becoming more creative with it. Of course, cost is going to be affected because you're going to be doing less. But it's actually, I'm really excited because it's going to make us think outside of the box and what are other things that we can
Sure.
do. And also in my business, I started doing more wedding guidance as I've been on the phone talking to brides, sometimes up to 2 hours,
Uh-huh.
having brides just really confide in me like their frustrations. And I do wedding planning just part time, just to help couples who don't have that already on the books. But I've
Sure.
noticed that actually after this, I'm actually going to be going into online wedding guidance and really not charging a lot, but even if it's for like an hour or 2 hours just to help guide them, what's
Right.
really important, it's really essential. And I think it's just going to be a really challenging but very creative future for all of us. And we're absolutely going to make it work, and we're going to just do the best that we can and
Mhm.
just keep our fingers
Keep going.
crossed that everything is, yep,
Absolutely.
it's flow into the
Absolutely.
future, right?
Perfect. Now, before we go to break, I wanted to see again, I have another question by show of hands. How many of you feel that the face of event planning has been changed forever in some way or another due to this pandemic? That things will never really go back to the way they were, that they'll be the way they were, but with a bunch of new stuff added. For instance, virtual events. Do you think those will be with us on an ongoing basis in one form or another now in a bigger way than before? Anybody?
I do.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think people take them
Yep.
more seriously. And it seemed like there was a consensus around the board that a lot of the things that as a group you thought, that you would, oh, no, that's too small, or no, that's not worth it. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. All these things that before we wouldn't even take a second look at. Now we're going, well, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Okay, so that's change, and that's all a part of the new normal. When we come back, we're going to find out what these event pros are predicting for the next few months, moving into a wedding season, which officially has already started. We'll be right back in just a second. Don't go away. Okay, we're back with our panel of experts from the Chicagoland area. And if you just happened to slip on a banana peel or something and found your way inside of today's episode, you couldn't have slipped at a better time. Welcome to Bathrobe Moments, and I'm your host, Loren Michaels Harris. And on the screen, you see Juliana, Sarah Stan of the Stan Mansion, Philip, and Deborah. And they are all different types of gurus in the event planning sector in the Chicagoland area, excuse me. And we're going to talk now about what let's talk about the recommendations, if you will, for people that are planning. I mean, of course, weddings is the big thing. So let's get some tips, if we could, for people that are just starting. If you're just starting now, you just got engaged, say last weekend, you're going to sit down this weekend and you're going to start looking for dates. Where do you recommend they start? Because it's not like it was just a little while ago as far as the timing. So, Chera, let's start with the space, the event space.
Well, that's the first thing that they're going to have to start with. So venue is number one.
That's right.
The sooner they start looking, the better it will be, because now for next year, if they plan on getting married in 2021, with the moving goal of all the events from 2020 to 2021, we have very little availability. If they also plan on getting married in 2022, they should start booking now.
Okay.
And after that will be your caterer, your decor, and your florist, and your music, and whatever else you may need.
Photographers, all that stuff.
Videographer, And some vendors can only do one event a day. Others can do 2 or 3. So it's important to start planning immediately, basically. And we are all available.
All of it. So let's talk about this, Chera. What about people that may want to say, well, you know what? Why don't we get married on Christmas Day? Or why don't we get married on New Year's Day? Are holidays traditionally skipped for weddings? And now maybe people will be willing to have a holiday wedding?
I'm sure that look, it really depends. We do New Year's Eve weddings and New Year's Day weddings. Matter of fact, we just booked a New Year's Eve. I never did a Christmas wedding, but
would you?
Of course I will.
Sorry, family, you'll have to open presents without me.
Right? Santa
okay, Scroogetta.
Yeah, as long as Santa comes to Stan Mansion, I'm fine. We did have Black Friday and whatever you call the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So yeah.
So okay. Everybody else, would you be willing to work on Christmas if it came along?
Absolutely. It's the nature of our business. You work with what's going on, and you're there for your guests and your clients. And if they feel that a certain date is important to them, you make it. That's just what we do. Right.
But in the past, if I would have wanted a Christmas wedding, that's asking for something extra. They're going to put a little extra billing on me, but you probably would go ahead and say, okay, I'll give it to you at the regular price because of the current climate, correct?
Right.
Juliana says something.
I think I need staff to work those weddings on New Year's Eve or New Year's, like Christmas Day. And for me to get them to work, there always have to be a little bit of incentive. So I do have to create a little bit of an upcharge in terms of service, because otherwise I'm not going to have servers going on a New Year's Eve to work.
Well, I want to talk. Oh my goodness. Do you guys know what this is? None of you, and you're in this industry? Nobody can guess what this is.
Oh my God, your wedding album.
Yes, that weighs 42 pounds. But of course, so I want to talk about this. This is why I brought this out. And I'm just randomly opening it. I'm just randomly opening it from our wedding. But this is the part that I wanted you guys to start talking about as we round the final lap of the interview is, because what's so important about what you all do? And a lot of times people don't consider this when they're choosing their professional for this type of memory making moment, which is your day. There are things that you should look for, because this is one of the things that is not a do-over. It's just like, okay, just like a funeral. Okay, wait a minute. Let's start over. Can we reschedule? Well, let's do this again tomorrow. Try it again tomorrow. No, there are no do-overs. And so I'd like you each to talk about what it is about what you do specifically that makes you different when you're putting together someone's special moment. Because my husband and I will show those pictures until our dying day. Hopefully that book will stay, because that book was like $5,000. That book better stay in the family somewhere. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Don't come in here trying to get the refrigerator and stuff. Come and get this book. And I mean that because my nephew's watching. I'll also have $100 bills hidden in between all the pages. So anyway, how important it is to you. What is that thing that you this is a chance to let people know that what goes through your mind when you're helping people create this moment. It's more than just a job. I believe that what you do is a calling. And I know that's true at the Stan Mansion because I've asked some things that there's no way I should have gotten, but I did, you know, and I know you all do that. Deborah, you did that for me. Philip, I tried to get those shoes off you that one time, but you weren't having it, so you didn't do shit for me. I'm just saying. But really, let's start with you, Philip. What is the thing that you'd like people to know about what goes into what you do that they may not already know?
You know, it's the process is very emotional, and you know, you have to be flexible and considerate and thoughtful. So when you are meeting with a vendor, you want someone that you have a rapport with, that you have a connection with, that you know, that you can trust and be open and honest and share your design and thought process with. That's really important. And, you know, someone that's, you know, has been around, that, you know, has an established review process, and you know, knows what's going on, knows what's current. That's really important.
So now with the current climate and all that's going on, you guys have a warehouse, you have all these things. If a person is, say, in one of the neighboring states, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, or Iowa, would they be able to go to the site that's on the screen right now and procure your services, or do you mainly work with people just within the Chicagoland or nearby areas?
So we have decided to just pretty much concentrate in the Chicago area and nearby areas.
Okay.
Really, we haven't, we don't really branch out any further than that.
Okay.
It's just primarily in the Chicago area.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of Chicago viewers, so there you go. Please take note of the website on your screen right now to continue this conversation with either Philip himself or some of the other great team members over at, say the name.
Juliet Tan Floral Design.
Juliet Tan Floral, because when I'm looking at it on there, I'll go Julie to Tan. You know, I won't split it right. I'm not kidding. I tell you what, I learned from a book called Motivating for Dummies. I'm kidding. Okay, thank you for that. Next up is Art of Imagination. Deborah, can you give us a little bit, because you really should have a lot to say about this.
I think one of the most important things that we have been doing at Art of Imagination, and actually will continue to do, is when we talk with the client, especially for our first interaction, be it in person, for an office consult, or over the phone. Lately, it's always been over the phone.
Okay.
It's actually just listening to them first. Not me. Like, I'll have clients that will say, please send me your pricing sheet. I want to know how much it costs. And I'm all about listening to them first. What's their vision? What's their anticipation? What's that magic they want to create? And then honestly, the budget will come into it, but later. But what's really important is I need to tap into what it is that they want to experience. Now, because of what's going on, the brides and the couples, they still have the vision, they still want the magic, but it has to change a little bit. Like, it has to be created in a more intimate environment. Maybe it has to be in the backyard. Maybe you have to incorporate the holidays for a wedding, because they're not going to see their family members, but only on holidays until this gets lifted. So just trying to help guide them, be creative, use the resources that we have to kind of create that magic. So just like you said, you're going to have these cherished memories, be it in your mind, be it in pictures that you have. But that's what it's all about, is just helping them, guide them through that whole process. And I think all of us here today, from the venue to the food to the flowers to the decor, to even you kind of making people understand this, that it's a team of vendors, it's a team that will creatively and harmonize together to give you that special day.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I just want to say, one of the things my husband and I did when we were building our team to execute the day that, especially having been a planner for 26 years, I wasn't about to play with it. But I didn't want to do all the work either. And I didn't want to jump in and try to take over what I had trusted other people to do. So, I recommend, talk to people that you admire what they had. You go, God, your flowers were gorgeous, and have those conversations. And one of my favorite questions in life is to pose to other people is, who do you know? Because we all have such great golden platinum Rolodexes of people that we've forged great relationships with. And relationship is the key to anything successful, anything memorable, and everything legendary. So next up is Juliana. Now, can you tell us about what you plan? Did I mute her? Okay, hold on.
Okay,
my bad.
Here
There you go.
I am muted.
Not anymore.
So for us, it's yes, we are providing food, but we are there from the client experience from the beginning when we get that lead until the end of the night where we have to say goodbye. We are there for them. So that face that they met at their tasting is there for them in case they need to clean their dress because it rained or run and get something. We are the support because we're there from beginning to end through their night. So we're there before they arrive to the wedding and we're the last ones to leave. So providing that experience to them and make them always feel special, like is our only focus for the night. Yes, we have more weddings going on. Yes, we have more weddings next day or the day before we had another one. But our main focus at that point is them.
Well, everybody, there you have it. And on your screen right now is the connector to Kachina Fusion Chicago, where you can go and check out all things food. If a Latin flair is your style, get in and have the conversation or continue one or start one with them. And always put them on the top of your list or put them on the top of your list. Check them out before you go anywhere else. That's what I recommend. Because if Chera brought these people, trust me, you can't do any better. Not in the Chicagoland area anyway. And then last but not least, we have you. Miss, are you there, Miss Stan Mansion? Hi, Chera.
I am.
Yes. So I want you to also answer that, but then Tip, we're going to go back for a real quick Jerry Springer moment with each of you based on this budget. Budget, a lot of people, because they've been laid off or they're working 1 week on, 1 week off, all different types of scenarios, are to speak to, everything they did, Chera, but also start off the thing about budget. How willing are you now to work with people, or can they call you just for recommendations? What do I do now? Chera, my budget just doesn't allow the Stan Mansion anymore. Do you have any recommendations? Is that a crazy question for any of you? Would you be offended if someone said, I love what you do. This time last year, we could afford it, but because of this virus and the things that it's done with us financially, we can't afford it. Could people still come to you for great advice? Chera.
Sure. So our job here is to advise them to make recommendation, which, by the way, all those people, they are part of our dream team, I call it. And you do remember when we talked about it a while back.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have special promotions? Yes, I do. And I totally understand that everybody's struggling at this time. So we are offering special promotion. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing this setup for smaller events to also promote new things that we offer. So, yeah.
Right. And this is the name of this section. I just wasn't stepping on, I wasn't picking on Chera. This section, as we go on, is called Shameless Plug. So go ahead and get it in. Okay. So you have some special things. What about you, Miss Deborah? You got anything special? What's your final thought?
Just that we're going to be here guiding you, and don't even think about the budget. Whatever your dream is, when you come down to the bottom line budget, after we talk about it, we're going to make it happen.
Ooh, love that. Thank you. And Juliana, final thought? Wait. Wait.
Oh, I muted
There.
myself.
Oh, you did. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we're here. You know, we will create a new and exciting menu, you know, something that's going to work for your guests, and we'll have them remember the food for the, you know, for many, many more years.
There you go. There you go. And you know, that's a big deal, because that's traditionally not one of the things that people are talking about 8 months later about the food. You know what I mean? They'll say, oh, those flowers. But you know what? I have been to weddings where that's all we did talk about. So yes, that is something to think about. Another reason for you to head over to Juliana's website. Last but not least, Sir Philip. Sorry. What do you have to say?
You know, it's our job to listen, like Deborah was talking about, and think of ways to create your vision. And if you feel that if the client feels that something isn't within their budget or affordable, we always have options and ways of creating that aesthetic look for them. So that's really important. We try to really, really listen to what you need and make that happen for you.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing across the board is that all 4 of these professionals are saying, don't give up, don't give in, don't say what cannot be. Magic is what they do. And if they can do what they've done for people hundreds of times prior to this, trust, they will be able to do the same thing for you. It may feel a little different, it may look a little different, but at the end, when you close your eyes, you won't say, man, am I glad that shit's over with. That's what you never want to hear when you're done and it's the end of the night, all those months of planning. So you guys the joy is still within the planning. So get on the phone, make those calls, check out these websites. And if it's not you, your friend, your family, anyone that's in the Chicagoland area that is considering or already decided to get married and they have a date, tell them to call all 4 of these professionals and get that day that they'll never forget. I want to thank all of my guests today, Juliana, Sarah, Deborah, and Philip. Thank you so much for starting your day with us and giving us all of your great insight. God bless you all. You're welcome back anytime. Yeah. And stay safe, will you please?
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Everyone, listen, I'll see you guys back here Monday when Jason Cisneros, the Bold Avenger, is our guest. Have a great weekend. Love as much as you can. And remember, every person you run into, every situation, try to leave it a little better than the way you found it. God bless you. Stay safe. See you Monday.